It's Inspiration Station time, and today we are continuing the theme of saving our citizens. Opening up the happiness panel in the bottom right, we can see that we still have a few issues to address. And while mail is the most pressing issue for everyone in Moose County, today we are going to tackle healthcare. Expect the next few episodes to be tackling key citizen needs, as I want to get those addressed first before we continue downtown, so that we can ensure people who move here want to stay here, and people who already live here don't leave us for Calgary or Medicine Hat. So what's the inspiration, I hear you asking? Well, we are headed over to Chinook Regional Hospital. The hospital is the District General Hospital for the city of Lethbridge and southern Alberta, and it serves over 150,000 people. This will serve as the inspiration for today's build. And while it's not entirely one-to-one, as this whole series is merely a showcase of the beautiful places and smaller towns that make up Alberta, through the power of right everywhere, I think those of you from Lethbridge may feel a sense of familiarity with this one. I'm so excited to show you all what I managed to create, so let's hop off this train and get to the build. As a massive American Truck Sim fan, I wanted to start this episode by fixing this trailer that user @Corey Stolberg pointed out would be impossible to hitch. Thank you, Corey. I also made some adjustments to the bridge to make sure that the pillars matched as best I could with the rail bridge module we made in Right Everywhere. Saying goodbye to the police station from the last episode, here's an overview of the map so far to give you an idea of the scale and where things are located as we bounce around from project to project. And here's a look at the area we will be working on today. Today's video, as you can tell from the title, is part one of a many-part build. This hospital proved to be quite the task, and there was no way I was getting it done in just one episode, let alone two. So expect a few episodes focusing on this project, but we might bounce between different areas of the city because this project is going to be a very big one to tackle. Like every build in this series, it all starts with the roads and the road builder. I had a comment that mentioned I should upload the roads to Road Builder instead of just showing them on screen, and that's a great idea. As soon as I get around to it, I will let all of you know. Applying some manual curbs here. Make sure you line them up with the edge of the crosswalk so you don't have Sims appearing to be walking on the roads as opposed to the sidewalks. I used this net lane as a measurement for sidewalk length, which I traced using the generic lemon sidewalk surface. I found this awesome Japanese low residential asset to use for this corner. However, you will see me attempting to use block services to make it function, because I wanted to create homes without driveways in the front, but garages in the back alongside the alley. However, there were just not enough assets available for this, and it would add a lot more detailing to my already overflowing plate. This house will remain as a showcase of what could have been, and I hope you all are okay with the driveways on the homes I use later on in this episode. I think they turned out beautifully. Coloring this street light and the fire hydrant, even something as simple as changing the colors on props, can add such a nice touch of realism to your streets. Now it's time for some surfaces, and you can see how taxing this would have been to do this for every single home. I tried a custom entrance here, and I'll be honest, it's not my best work. I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah. Finishing this off with some foliage. This asset here is the Vanilla Police Station, and using the static ploppable vanilla mod, I can place a non-detailed, non-functional version that will serve as the church for the neighborhood. Some more curbs here, and you'll see me using this network to trace every single road painstakingly by hand, and then some more surfaces to complete the sidewalks. I wanted to mix up the texture for the paths that connect to this church, so I'm using this awesome net lane by CryptoGamer. On the topic of the church, the main focal point is the hospital. However, I wanted to make sure it had some surroundings slightly detailed up for the juicy cinematics. So if you notice areas where you think I didn't detail that to my usual standard, that's why. Anything that isn't the hospital will be shown more love in the future, like 6 years from now at my pace. A parking lot road in the back, and some service blocks to bring this church to life. And lastly, some invisible paths for the added realism of Sims walking through the doors. I found this awesome mulch decal in my collection, which really adds to the church foliage vibe I was going for. After placing the final trees, I wanted to add some pops of color, and it's something I need to do more of. Here's my take on a crimson maple using the oak tree. Now it's time to move on to the single-family homes, and as I mentioned before, unfortunately, non-driveway homes just aren't doable for me yet. Hopefully that will change in the future if CO ever gives us the asset editor. Now let's touch up the sidewalk and road surfaces. Not too bad, eh? Let's add some more foliage. For the curbs for the driveways, I spaced them between the driveways for a nice, clean curb cutout look. Man, try saying that word 3 times fast. I found this non-terrain conforming cube that I acquired from Discord that I sunk into the ground and colored to match the asphalt to try and hide these tears in the road caused by Road Builder. It's not the best solution, but it's good enough for now. I use vanilla paths to make segments for intersections that I add shoulders to in Road Builder, deleting the paths afterwards. If you're using my road method, make sure all segments that form an intersection have shoulders, otherwise you won't be able to have crosswalks. Attaching a Right Everywhere sign to the street light that I got from Google Maps Street View. Before filming the build segments, I go around on Google Maps and capture images of all the notable signs so that I have them ready to go in-game for recording. You can see here, by making all the sidewalks myself, I can create sidewalks of varying length that better capture realistic Canadian streets, especially in the old suburbs. I am using invisible sideways parking lot assets by Dome to make custom side street parking. To make them function, place them on an invisible lane that you can add to your roads in Road Builder, and then make sure you connect invisible pathways to the parking asset that attaches to your sidewalk. Adding a bus stop here, and you'll see me add a few of these to builds. Eventually, when the city is big enough, we will connect them all up with the city's first bus route. And now, it's time to draw out the emergency drop-off road for the hospital. I forgot to mention earlier, but I haven't shown off the custom hospital yet, which you might have caught glimpses of, because the current form will not be staying, and I will build something far better very shortly here. Converted the dirt road to an alley so I can add some parking in the Road Builder mod. So here it is, my second attempt at a custom hospital using static ploppables by StarQ, all mashed together, and honestly, I think it turned out heckin' awesome. I am using this build from the vanilla hospital to act as the modern wing at Chinook Regional Hospital, which reminds me that the series is called Moose County, Alberta, but Moose County is the name of the county. I wanted to have separate names for this city and the small towns, so let me hear all your name suggestions for the city in the comments below, even if you think I should just call this city Moose County. I tried to recolor most of the assets to match the red brick aesthetic found in IRL. And here it is, the final project. What do you think? For how limited we are in game, I honestly love how this turned out. I saw that the hospital was situated on a slight incline, and I wanted to capture that in-game here. Some more sidewalk surfaces. And now I am adjusting the path for the bus stop as the bus stop cuts into the road, and I wanted to capture that look here. Now I am adding an area of mulch that will be home to a bunch of blue spruces. These stairs were also acquired on Discord, and the best part about them, besides the fact that they don't warp the terrain when you sink them down, is that they come with built-in pedestrian paths. Yes, you heard that correctly, and you'll see that part circle back around later on in this episode. Here, I am using a terrain flattener, which you have seen me use throughout this series to help better fit the terrain to my needs. With the stairs placed, I decided to use the brick wall prop to help frame the stairs and act as a spot for foliage to blend in this area better. Using some foliage bushes that I will raise, and when you use the dead tree option on this specific flower bush, it actually makes for a nice grassy bush. That sounded a bit off. Cleaning up some of the wall pieces on the other side. and then adjusting the surface of the sidewalk here to line up with the stairs. Adding another concrete surface here to be the main concrete theme for the paths and sidewalks in and around the main hospital. Here's another look at the Road Builder Road. The road you see here with the diagonal parking is going to be the main road alongside the blank suburban road that I will go ahead and place all around the hospital complex. So let's get that done. A quick overview of all the roads I placed. Now I am adding a mailbox, and I figured that with our new friend Right Everywhere, we could turn this into a Canada Post mailbox. Adding a custom sign from Google Maps. However, as I'm looking back at this footage, I realized this sign doesn't align with where the emergency is located because I changed it from the one in IRL. So let's enjoy the creation of this beautiful sign and the realism it adds, and future Moose will swap the location of the emergency arrow. Here's another one for the Chinook Regional Hospital, and while this build, repeat after me, is not 121, it's a cool name and leads to cool signage, so I'm keeping it. In this universe, Lethbridge has no hospital, only the soon-to-be-named city in Moose County. Here you see me adding more invisible pedestrian paths, and you may have seen the houses freak out when I added them. Don't worry, I'll show you how to fix that later on. And here it is, the connecting pieces for the stairs. Incredibly, these come with the pedestrian paths baked in. It saves so much time and frustration. I was adding 2 service blocks here for the hospital, and I will use Better Bulldozer to delete the squares to hide them. I had a great chat with StarQ who made these, and I learned of some fun ways to better place these, because right now the delivery vans that spawn from these spawn out of our sidewalks, and it looks awkward. So in a future episode, I want to come back and rebuild the functional squares with this newfound knowledge. Thanks, StarQ. Similar to the police station, I added functional ambulance spawn points and bays addressing different citizen needs, as well as jobs to help bring the whole building to life. I will also sprinkle some of these cubes around the other access points of this hospital to really make it boom. And just like that, we have addressed the healthcare needs of our citizens. But we still have a ton of work to do here, so let's get back to it, starting with more invisible pedestrian paths. Another street light means more opportunities for custom signs. I saw some apartment buildings across the street on Google Maps, and I figured the UK flats are the closest building to achieving the look I saw. Here's how to fix the no car issue when placing homes on no shoulder roads. Just use the blue two-way invisible network and snapping enabled and attach it from the blue lines in the building down to the road. Adding some surfaces to the UK buildings, they came with huge concrete front surfaces that just didn't really make much sense, so I decided to do it myself. I used a different grass surface for the apartment buildings, so to hide the drastic difference, I am using a UK wall prop. I saw that there were a few pretty big trees all over this street, so I went for a combination that I think really helps elevate this road. Trees make a huge difference. Some planters by the stairs, and I decided to go with the small birch for this area. Now it's time for even more flowers, and I'm using that same method from the previous episode. Here's a look at the finished intersection using my method for custom roads. Now for something really fun, a custom sign gantry using ventilation props. In Anarchy mode, there's an option called Transform that allows you to rotate props, allowing me to mess around with the rotation of these vent props to make the custom gantry. Add some paint, and now it's ready for the custom sign. How cool is that? I am adding some additional pedestrian crossing signage, and yes, you are right, Moose, that sign is the wrong way. Do not panic, I will fix this before the end of the episode. After paving the emergency drop-off road, it's time to beautify the center median. And let's fill in this empty space here to the left of the stairs. Some more hand-placed invisible parking for 10th Ave. You can never have too many signs pointing to the hospital. I know right everywhere seems daunting, but maybe I can convince you in this series to try it out. It truly makes a world of difference. Here's another look at how the custom roads are made. I am essentially using surfaces to cover up the road and make it look the way I want to. Here's a look at the completed intersection and the final intersection for Part 1 of the Chinook Regional Hospital project. It's time for some more foliage to fill in these empty green spaces around this side of the hospital. Using the ventilation pipe trick from earlier, here's another custom sign. However, as mentioned earlier in this episode, I will need to alter these images as the emergency part is pointing to the IRL spot, which I relocated in this build. Some proof that I know which way crosswalk signs go. More mulch for the spruce trees. And we can't forget some rocks to add that forest aesthetic. And here it is, the sign that sells the entire build. I am really pleased with how the sign turned out, especially the night version. You can never have too much mulch and spruce trees, especially in a game that has maybe 4 trees tops. I made these planter areas which we will add benches to using vanilla planter prop end pieces pushed together. The build is really taking shape now, and we are nearing the end of Part 1 of the Chinook Regional Hospital project. As of this recording, I am unsure if I will do all parts of this build back to back, as it's an extremely time-consuming build and it will be a massive project. Hospitals are so extensive, especially when the entire building is custom made. If you made it this far, what would you like to see me tackle next, or do you just want more of the hospital? A massive shout out to the people who support me on Patreon and got early access to this video. You all help keep the lights on. I will see you all next week for another episode of Moose County, Alberta. Take care, folks.